Hello and welcome, my friends, to FF Lifestyle. I just did a video last week talking about how destroyed I was with my second week starting off with no caffeine. So I thought it would be interesting as you hear a little bit more zest, a little bit more pep in my step this morning. I'm feeling pretty good because I am back on my addiction to caffeine this week. But in all seriousness, it is day 3 of being back on a pre-workout. I chose No Explode. I did 2 weeks of no caffeine. How has it felt now that I am on caffeine again, and what are the differences that I am seeing? So without a doubt, Monday this week, I jumped back into the gym and took that pre-workout first thing Monday morning. No Explode has 275 milligrams of caffeine. If you don't like all of the disgusting artificial colors, red number 40, all that good stuff, watermelon flavor, weirdly enough, has no artificial colors in it. So that's the one that I went with. And it got me going, buddy. Oh my God. 275 hit me like a freaking freight train and gave me the ability to absolutely crank the energy out all the way until about 6 p.m. when I finally started to die down. And interestingly enough, I did not experience any crash or anything like that. I just got sustained energy throughout the day. Now, the one change that I did was no afternoon energy drink right around lunchtime, right around like 11:45 noon. I do believe that just having a pre-workout only in the morning around 4 a.m. might be the name of the game when it comes to the whole week of training. I am doing 4-week rotations now, meaning I have 1, 2, and 3 weeks that are very hard training that will include caffeine. The 4th week, I am going to do no caffeine and a deload week from training. So I'm still going to go to the gym, but more machine focused, cardio focused, and again, no caffeine, so a non-stimulant pre-workout. And I think that is going to be the winner. When it came to day 2 and day 3 of caffeine, including this morning, it is definitely noticeable that because my training has jumped up exponentially, we're talking having a hard time getting my heart rate above the 80s on no caffeine, non-stimulant pre-workouts, doing the same exact movements. Now, I am cranking up the intensity this week, and I have been sitting at around the 130, sometimes even 150 mark if I'm on the Stairmaster after the gym, doing my exercises. So I am 100% noticing that extra energy exerted in the morning. Pre-workout's still getting me through it, no problem. And around the 3:30 to 5 mark, I'm noticing the caffeine kind of dwindle out. And I think what's interesting is with that afternoon energy drink being between 150 and 200 milligrams that I was doing, it was not affecting me, or so I thought, because I was so tolerant to caffeine. But what it was doing, because of the half-life of caffeine being about 12 hours, staying in my system sometimes until probably about midnight, even though I was asleep. And although my sleep was fine, my sleep score was fine, there was only about a 4-hour window between midnight and 4 a.m. where I did not have caffeine in my system. And I think in the regards of tolerance, that's the worst thing you can do because your body is just consistently used to caffeine being in the system the entire day. What I'm doing now, I am very much feeling, now that I was off of caffeine for 2 weeks, the effects of no caffeine in my system from like 6 p.m. onward, maybe 5 p.m. onward. And I think that's awesome because that's right around the time where I'm trying to wind down, get ready to go to sleep, eat dinner, and also my body is resting, recovering. My sleep score has been off the charts. And I am getting all the energy throughout the day. Now, I have no doubt that the tolerance is going to build. Already, day number 3, the caffeine is not hitting quite like a freight train like it did on Monday. And I would imagine that's because I'm midway through the week of hardcore training, work, etc. On the weekend, I'll be very curious to see on Monday next week if it hits quite as hard with this new kind of tolerance schedule. When you are experiencing extreme amounts of tolerance with a pre-workout or really anything else in your life, it might be time to back off a little bit and reevaluate. I'm not trying to say at all, I jump back on caffeine, that the only option is no caffeine whatsoever. I do think 400 milligrams or below is 100% the standard you need to hold yourself to. When I was going above 400, it was just, quite frankly, dangerous levels of caffeine that were not really allowing me any additional benefit compared to what I'm getting now. And for my body, at least, 2 weeks was all I needed to just absolutely jumpstart me into the following week of training. I'm coming from having a 350 milligram pre-workout not even hitting me anymore in the morning to having almost 100 milligrams less hit me more than anything has hit me in modern times in the way of pre-workouts. Pump off the charts, endurance off the charts. I mean, we're talking the actual benefits that caffeine should be providing you, along with finally having the drive and motivation to do more in the morning. The final thing that I want to wrap this video up with, which I find super interesting, just evaluating my own mental problems when it comes to caffeine, I guess, my focus levels. So my focus not on caffeine was a little bit harder to have. Like, I had no drive to put towards something. I was very clear not on caffeine. Think of it like if you ever had an impulsive purchase and just no thought, you just do it. There was none of that. There was no impulsivity to my day. There was no drive, but there was also no or very little impulsivity. So I was able to kind of go throughout my day very clearly figuring out what areas I wanted to dedicate time and focus to. The time and focus was not great, but I could drive it. I was in the driver's seat a little more. On caffeine, the focus is astounding. Driving it is awful. And that's what I've noticed without a doubt. I can have a great amount of drive and focus doing these videos, but I'm not able to break away from that focus and go to another task. So having 2 weeks of no caffeine kind of like sparked that for me, and I'm now able to really realize it and try to drive it a little bit more. But I'm curious to see what you guys think. Have you experienced this as well? What have you done? But for me, again, the ability to change the focus to another really important task is very difficult on caffeine, and I find myself becoming very obsessive about the task when I have caffeine on the mind and I am just laser focused on that. But the problem is, whatever I'm laser focused on may not necessarily be the thing I need to be doing at that time. I really need to do this, but I'm gonna clean up the armory instead. But at least I have drive. So I'm going to try very hard to stay down the middle of the road with drive and focus, and also try very hard to stick with just seltzer water after lunch and not hardcore energy drinks. And I will keep you guys updated along the way. Hopefully you are finding this somewhat entertaining or helpful. There's only going to be about 15 of you actually watching this video, and probably even less staying till the very end. But even if one of you has stayed, thank you for watching. And stay tuned for more great content coming soon.